Today's episode of the Bill Simmons podcast is brought to you by Realty Shares. Here's a much less frustrating way to diversify your risk than listening to me and House make football bets. Just invest in real estate at realtyshares.com. Browse professionally vetted investments in just a few minutes and invest as little as $1,000 per transaction. Register at no cost at realtyshares.com/BS and join the thousands of investors who have already registered with over $10 million already in return to investors to date. That's realtyshares.com/BS. The Bill Simmons podcast is also brought to you by HBO because they were nice enough to give me my own television show that launches next spring. Thank you, HBO. This Saturday night at 9:30 on HBO, undefeated Terrence Crawford defends his super lightweight title against Joe House. It's Joe House's first professional fight. No, it's actually Dearagine. Crawford is undefeated. He's fun to watch, and people are starting to wonder, is he going to be the next Floyd Mayweather? Check him out Saturday, 9:30 on HBO. And with that, I think this is the 12th podcast. Still, no entrance music. America's national nightmare continues. God, we need music. But at least we have Joe House, and we're very excited for this podcast. Every year, we do over-unders for the NBA win totals. House and I take this very seriously. We do research. We try to one-up each other. We have locks. People listen to our bets. Last year, we did okay. The year before, we did amazing. And I'm really excited for this. But as usual on Fridays, we're going to do NFL picks as well. And I just wanted to mention, you can get these podcasts at BillSimmonsPodcast.com. Thank you to iTunes for all the love they've given. You can get them on iTunes, get them on SoundCloud. We're working out something with Stitcher. I like Stitcher. I think that's a good app. I think we're going to get something done with that. So hopefully we're going to add that soon. And without further ado, the man, the myth, the legend, Joseph House. How are you?
It's a holy day. It's a blessed day. It's a day for a free-flowing conversation that may occasionally touch on mature subjects.
Yeah, where we might say word like fuck every once in a while. Oh,
I probably won't. So I think my mom listens
I'll say
to
a
this,
couple. I'll say a couple for us.
You carry the load, the F-bomb load for us.
All right, so here's the deal. We are doing NFL picks for Week 7 quickly, and then we're going to do the Eastern Conference NBA over-under win totals. That is part 1. Part 2, we're going to do the Western Conference. We're going to tape it today on a Friday, so hopefully nobody gets hurt. And we're going to run that on Tuesday because the NBA season starts next week, and we got to get this up. So Eastern Conference today, Western Conference part 2. Right now, Week 7. Oh, wait a second. I have the wrong file open. Well, we there's not that many games this week.
But, it's a slate of 13 because there was one last night.
I have the right file. So I'm having a good year picking games. You know what's really helped me is being able to do the picks on Sunday instead of Friday. And I always used to bitch about the Friday picks because I had my column due. Now I get the 2 extra days, and it's really helped me. I'm 51, 37, and 4 in the season. Hit the Seahawks last night. Dude, who'd you have last night?
Seahawks.
Yeah. Desperate defense against Kaepernick. That's all I needed. I didn't even care what the line was. Sunday best bets on Instagram, 11, 5, and 2. We did best bets on Friday. I encourage you to check Twitter and Instagram if you're actually listening to our picks because we, like last week, the Washington professional football team, we both picked them on Friday, and then it became clear that they were seriously banged up heading into the Sunday game, and I actually switched my pick. I didn't care. I what I told the podcast listeners.
A good switch by you. I saw that
yeah.
and had the same sentiment. The crazy thing about that, the DC Grudens, they have won 5 out of their 6 games at halftime. Too bad the games can't be over at halftime.
It's too bad. It's too bad things like halftime adjustments matter. Let's go over here are the games we're not picking. Every week we pick 5 bets. I think we're either slightly over 500 or 500. I think we're over 500 though. We're not picking Skins minus 3.5 at home over Tampa. I'm going to take the Skins. I don't feel good about it. You have the Skins, I bet, right?
I do.
Falcons minus 6 at Tennessee. I'm probably taking Atlanta. I think Wisenhunt is right now the reigning worst coach in the league. I don't feel good about that one either. How about you?
I'm probably taking Atlanta because Mariota still may not play.
Chiefs are giving, what's the line now for that Chiefs game? 3.5? Is that right? That can't be
It was
right.
off the board from what I was looking
Yeah,
at.
all right. Whatever that line
We
is.
don't know about Big Ben playing.
I'm taking the Steelers, and I'm still excited that I was the last person to find out that Landry Jones was white. I had no idea. Cardinals, Ravens, that line is 7.5, and the Ravens are just getting 3 points of respect that they don't deserve every week, and I'm going to keep banging whoever they're playing until that changes. Cardinals, I like them, but I didn't like them enough to pick it.
Yeah.
You have that same?
I do.
All right.
I'm not going to make an argument on behalf of the Ravens.
No, they're done. Put a fork in them. All right, here are our picks. You have Buffalo and Jacksonville in London. The Bills are favored by 4 points. Who do you have in this as one of your best bets?
I'm going back to London.
Yeah.
Notwithstanding the bad taste left in my mouth. The mistake previously was picking against the better team. This time I'm not going to make that mistake, taking Buffalo.
Okay. I like Buffalo as well, but no Sammy Watkins and backup quarterback. I don't feel good about it. I didn't want to join you on that one. And I'm not joining you on this next one. Minnesota giving 2 points in Detroit. Teddy Bridgewater laying points on the road makes me nervous, but obviously you're not nervous. Who'd you have?
I have been very hesitant and reserved with respect to this Minnesota team all season long. I'm finally ready to go ahead and jump in on them. On a power ranking basis, at least one of the metrics have Minnesota as like a 4 or 5 point better team. This is another game where line under 3 points. I just want to take the better team.
Yep.
And Minnesota is my selection on that basis.
I respect it. I'm not taking Teddy Bridgewater on the road. Sorry, Teddy. All right, this is mine. Rams laying 6.5 to Josh McCown and the Browns. Josh McCown threw for a lot of yards on Baltimore, and everybody decided that Josh McCown was maybe a late bloomer or something. He's been on 10 teams in 12 years. Congratulations for throwing for 500 yards against the terrible Ravens, but you're going into the Lions den against a really good Rams defense that didn't play last week. And if you're trailing by 10 in the second half, there's going to be turnovers. And I think the Rams defense covers the spread by itself with Gurley finishing them off. Rams -6.5 over the Browns.
That's funny. I like the Browns, and I'm willing to be wrong here. I'm not against it. I liked the way they played against Denver last week. I was really impressed. I think 6.5 is just too many. I still like the Rams to win, but I respect the Browns. That's why I stayed away.
Okay. Dolphins, the rejuvenated Dolphins, the Joe Philbin-less Dolphins, laying 4.5 at home against Houston. I think Houston's one of the 4 worst teams in the league. And
you and I are in lockstep agreement on that.
Yeah, and the Dolphins are mediocre to decent now that they actually might have a coaching staff and some purpose. Decent defense. Cameron Wake's back. He had a big week last week. Lamar Miller, they're giving the ball to him more, figuring out how to use Jarvis Landry. It just feels like another blowout for them, followed by everybody going, oh my God, the Dolphins are 3-3. What happened? I like the Dolphins. I think that line's 2 points too low.
This was not one of my selections either, but I'm also taking the Dolphins.
All right, I do not have this one, but you do. Indianapolis laying 4.5 points to the Saints.
So I like Indy. There's a nice trend here. They're 17-3 against the spread after a straight-up loss. I like that trend line. And on a power ranking basis, they're 5 to 6 points better than New Orleans. And I also think that New Orleans is one of the 4 worst teams in the NFL this year. So I like Indy.
Disagree.
Give me the points.
I thought Indianapolis played pretty well in that New Orleans in the Patriots game last Sunday for about 2.5 quarters, and the fake punt murdered them. Just murdered their souls.
They showed the identity that everybody was investing in at the beginning of the season with Indy as kind of a sleeper pick for great things this year, maybe making the Super Bowl. That was that 2.5 quarters that we watched was the thing that everybody's been looking for, and that's another reason why. If they're going to really start playing like that, and Luck is back and he's fully healthy and he looked very good against the Pats, then I really like Indy in this spot.
I think you got way too excited about Indy just there. I think you need to settle down. Throw a big glass of water on yourself. I just don't think the Patriots played that well, but I thought the Colts played well. The Pats, to me, it just seems like they wanted to get out of there doing as little as possible and winning. And even it was like they knew they were going to get the ball in the second half and score. They knew they were going to take a lead, and then they just completely threw away the fourth quarter. They just ran the ball 3 times and punted. They just wanted to get out of there without anyone seeing anything, which I thought was a weird way to handle it.
I would agree. Anytime that there's a minute left in the game and the other team is within a touchdown and is kicking an onside kick, I mean, the game is still in doubt.
Yeah.
And the Pats took their foot off the pedal and put the game in doubt as a result. I did not like that. They hurt my feelings, and we'll get to them soon enough.
That's what they did against Pittsburgh in week 1, too. If you're a gambler, you just hate that. But the Pats, it's just Milton Berle, just pulling out enough cock to win every week. Just pulling out enough. Just here's I'll give a little more foreskin here. Okay. All right. This is mine. Raiders getting 4.5 in San Diego. I thought this was the weirdest line of the week. San Diego has the opposite of a home field advantage. You might have 30,000 Raider fans at this game. I think San Diego shot their wad last week in Green Bay. Great effort. Fell a little bit short. And I don't think the Raiders are that bad. I think these teams are even. At the very least, it's a 3-point game. I actually think the Raiders can win, so I'm taking the Raiders plus 4.5.
I'm going to take the Raiders too, but that's not one of my lock picks. San Diego 2 consecutive weeks have played well enough to win and just come up short. They're not that bad offensively. Their defense is
they can't run the ball though.
Yeah.
All right, next one. We got to go quicker than this. It's my fault. I'm doing a bad job as the host. You have the Pats and the Jets. The line is 8. It's in New England. Who do you have in this?
I have the Jets. I'm all over the Jets. I'm all in on the Jets. 8 is just too many under these circumstances.
Well, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I agree with you. I did not make that one of my best bets, but because I would never do that to Bill Belichick and Tom Brady and the kids who are dying from drinking Coca-Cola every day. But
there's a little stat. The Jets are 5. Oh, pardon me. Yes. The Jets are 5-0 against the spread when New England is undefeated. In the circumstances under which the two teams have faced each other, Pats 0-5 against the spread.
All right, I'll give you a little stat. We have no offensive linemen left. That's a stat. The Pats don't cover spreads over 7 points when they're down to their 17th string offensive lineman. I didn't look that up. I'm just guessing.
And against a defense that's going to blitz 93% of the time.
Yeah, and I don't know if Marcus Cannon's playing or not, but I think the Pats are banged up. You know, they're slowly heading toward that injury point of no return for a 16-0 season. They're losing too many guys, and here's why I didn't pick it, and I think the line's a little bit too high. But Fitzpatrick by himself could give the Pats a cover in this game. He could just throw 3 terrible passes, and all of a sudden the Pats are up 30-10. You feel like an idiot because he took the Jets. But I don't. The Pats' offensive line situation is worrisome because it wasn't great to begin with. They lose Nate Solder. Cannon gets hurt. Guys are moving around. And it's a concern. I really think it's one of the reasons they threw away the fourth quarter of that Colts game. I don't think they wanted Brady to take a big hit when they had a lead. So they're just like, screw it. We're going to run the ball and get out of here.
The Jets are good, by the way. They've outgained every team they've played so far.
They're pretty good.
Good.
They haven't played anybody good yet, have they?
The best one was against Indy in week 1. They hammered Indy, though. Or was that week 2?
FYI, Indy's not good. What are you talking about? They played the Browns, the Colts, the Eagles they lost to, the Dolphins, and the Washington professional football team. Show me something, Jets.
Here's the game. This is the time for them to do it, right?
Yeah. All right, so I have the Panthers laying 3.5 to the Eagles. I think the Eagles suck. I don't care what's happened. I don't care that they beat up on the Saints. I don't care that Eli threw them some picks and they won 27-7. When I watch Eagles games, I never feel like it's a well-coached, efficient, good football team. I just feel like I don't know. They seem disjointed. I don't trust Bradford at all. I especially don't trust Bradford in Carolina. Are you kidding me? And I only have to lay 3.5 points, and Cam Newton's the MVP right now.
Well, I like the Eagles getting that extra half point. I would take the
Let's
other
go
side
head to head.
For sure. I like the Eagles' front 7. I think their defense
I agree on that.
Is good, trending towards very good. Their
I
offense
don't disagree.
Fits everything you just described. Disjointed, only effective in spurts.
You know what this feels like to me, House? The goose egg game. Like the Eagles literally scoring no points. Like they lose 16-0.
I'm that's fine. I'm taking them.
Okay, let's go head. We agree on one game. The Giants are giving 3.5 points at home to the Cowboys of Dallas and Matt Castle. Who do you have in this?
Dallas.
Oh.
I like the rested underdog angle.
Interesting. I did not expect that.
And I like
House.
the angle that they've lost 3 straight up and against the spread.
Wow. And you think their defense and the whole thing. I'm laying the points with the Giants. Eli has been doing this for 15 years, 20 years, 25 years. I don't remember how long he's been in the league, where he just looks terrible and everybody writes him off and wonders what they're ever thinking with Eli Manning, and then he has an awesome game the next week. And that's the only reason I'm taking them. Giants
I'm not writing off Eli or the Giants. The Giants hurt my feelings last week also. I thought they were one of the top, 10,
that's a good
11
way to
teams
put
in
it.
the league.
Yeah, they hurt my feelings too. They were feelings hurt by their performance last week. It was a slew of broken feelings.
It was.
Okay, let's recap quickly. You have Buffalo -4. You have Minnesota -2. You have Indy -4.5. You have the Jets +8, and you have the Giants. I'm sorry, the Dallas Cowboys +3.5. I have the Giants -3.5 in that game. I have the Rams -6.5. Dolphins -4.5. Chargers +4.5. Panthers -3.5. And let's get to NBA. You know what though? I think we run an ad.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, let's pay tribute to one of our friends. One of my favorites. House, I keep telling you about SeatGeek. It's my favorite app for sporting tickets or really any event tickets. When you shop on SeatGeek.com, check out virtually every ticket option available for games and events. Find a ticket you want to buy. Make 2 taps, and you're done. You have your tickets. Show your phone at the venue, and you're in. What could be easier than that? My listeners could save $20. Download the free SeatGeek app today. Enter promo code BS, and SeatGeek will send you $20 after your first purchase. And guess what? Every ticket purchased on SeatGeek backed by a 100% guarantee. Download the free SeatGeek app and enter promo code BS. Just do it, for God's sakes. All right. What a great, you're going to need SeatGeek for this NBA season for the Wizards tickets, House.
I know. It's going to be a hot
'em.
ticket here.
Hard to get them. All right, so here's what we do. We have the over-unders that are issued by Las Vegas and the casinos and the gambling industry. And they look at every team and they say, this team is going to win blank wins. Either bet over or under that number. And their goal is to put the number in a place where House and I have to agonize over whether we're going over or under. So, for instance, we're going to go Eastern Conference, and we're going to go by divisions this year. Tate Frazier, our producer, he did a lot of research for us, and he separated everybody by divisions. So, Toronto is our first one. Their over is 46. So, if we go over, that means we think they're going to go 47 and 35 or better. If we go under, that means we think they're going to go 45 and 37 or worse. And here's what happened with Toronto this year. They added DeMarre Carroll. They spent some money on him. They lost Amir Johnson and Lou Williams. And they added a bunch of like Luis Scola, Corey Joseph, Bismack Biyombo, Anthony Bennett types. The big news with them, though, Kyle Lowry lost some weight. He's fast. He's fast, quicker than ever. Kyle Lowry. He's motivated.
He scored 40 points in a preseason game.
He's a maniac. First of all, do you want to congratulate him for getting in shape when he's a professional athlete who made 6 figures a year? Or do you want me to do it? You have it. You take it.
I actually was pretty impressed with his performance last year. He didn't look pudgy to me. He got worn down in the playoffs, and I was fine with that because it was against my team. But did he look fat to you last season?
He really wore down last year, and it did look like he was physically breaking down a little bit. Here's the thing. Fat point guards don't last. I'm not saying he was fat, but, it's like the Sherm Douglas, John Bagley. Like, those guys are not playing when they're 38 years old. They seem to have
Felton.
a quick... Yeah, Ray Felton, they have a quick shelf life. So get in shape, and he got in shape. Congratulations to him for being in shape when that's his only job. DeMar DeRozan contract year. Jonas got a 4-year, $64 million extension, which I think is pretty tradable for them. They never totally figured out how to use him. And now that, the Jonas versus Amir Johnson, it seemed like they were never totally comfortable playing both of them at the same time. Now my guess is they're going to go a little more small ball.
It has
So
that
maybe
look.
like their crunch time is Lowry, DeRozan, Jonas, DeMar Carroll, maybe Patrick Patterson is the stretch four, and that's who they're going to roll with. What do you think?
Yep. Yeah, that's exactly the lineup I expect. That's the crunch time lineup.
Right. So what do you have?
I like them winning 47 games this year.
So you have over. They won 49 last year.
Right. Yeah. So I'm just taking the over on this. I think the Lou Williams departure is going to be a little bit of an issue for
Me
them,
too.
but the improving on defense is the right frame of mind. And they won 49 last year with DeRozan missing 22 games.
Yeah.
They have the benefit of a still putrid East. So I like the over here. I don't love it, but I like it.
Yeah, it feels weird to go under because then you have to point to at least two other teams in this division that are going to win more than you think, and we know one of them. But then you're basically saying the Knicks are going to win 40 games or something, and that I don't feel good about saying that. I'm intrigued by this team. Here's what I don't like about them. Amir Johnson's one of those guys, and this is why he's going to be awesome in the Celtics. He's one of those. He doesn't need the ball. He's going to do all the dirty work stuff. He's going to set picks. He's going to guard the other team's best low post guy. Doesn't care about minutes. Great chemistry guy. You pull that out, and now you have this team where just go down the line, right? Lowry's the guy. DeRozan's in a contract year. Jonas wants the ball a little bit more. Carroll just signed this big free agent contract, wants to prove he's the guy. Just worries me that they don't have the guy who does the little things. And maybe that'll be Carroll, because that's what he did in Atlanta. But from a front court standpoint, who's guarding like the best low post guy on the other team? That right now it's Luis Scola, Jonas, Patrick Patterson. Like, I don't feel good about that.
They have a power forward problem.
Yeah. But you can
They have
trade
a
for
power
that
forward
too
problem.
as the season goes along. So it'd be hard. It's hard. I'd be surprised if they won less than 46. All right, let's go to my favorite team, the Boston Celtics, and the dumbest over-under of the year, 43.5. They are.
Go ahead and make the case.
Well, they were 20-10 down the stretch last year. They were an above 500 team as soon as they got Isaiah Thomas. Their biggest issue was they had bad big guys. They brought in David Lee and Amir Johnson. They're going to be better offensively. The David Lee, Isaiah Thomas pick and roll is actually a professional basketball play. It's pretty impressive. Like watching the preseason, it's a crunch time play that you could run and get baskets and open shots from. And they have a lot of depth. I think that's their biggest advantage is they have too many decent to good role players. And they're going to have 11 to 12 guys. And for the course of a season, when guys get hurt, guys get dinged up, they're just going to be able to keep throwing guys in. I also think Marcus Smart's going to have a big jump this year because I obviously watch the Celtics. He sprained his ankle pretty early on in the season last year, badly. Came back, hurt it again. He was never like 100% healthy. He's a rookie, doing dumb rookie things. I just think he's going to be a lot better. And I don't know. I like the team. I like the chemistry. I like the coach. This team's built for a regular season, like 47 to 48 win type of season. I really feel
So
that.
I wanted to be skeptical. That last point you just made is the point that I was going to make. They're a team that needs to play hard through the entire balance of the regular season. They're not going to be taking games off.
Yeah.
And right, exactly. They have to, and they will. They're now trying to shape themselves into. They want to find an identity. They have all these guards, and it is an improvement to have David Lee and Amir Johnson in the fold on the big side, but they still have to sort out what their identity is with all these guards and who's going to be most efficient playing with one another. And I think that means they're going to be playing hard each and every game. And I respect Brad Stevens, President-elect Brad Stevens, so much that I think they are going to be like a 46, 47, 48 win team.
He dropped out of the race a day after Joe Biden. It didn't get as much attention.
Joe Biden, plus 1,500 we had him at. Come on, Joe.
Here's another sneaky thing about this Celtics team. They have a bunch of good defenders now, right? Avery Bradley is a good defensive player. Marcus Smart is an excellent, possible Tony Allen level someday defensive player. Amir Johnson.
They were middle. Yeah.
Amir Johnson's
there
a
you go.
very good
This is the
defensive
point.
player. Jay Crowder is an excellent perimeter guy who, he's a little Draymond Green on defense. He really is. And so they have, my point is, if somebody gets hot on the other team, they have a guy to throw at that person. If there's some swingman's hot, put Jay Crowder, go get him. Some guard is lighting it up. Hey, Marcus, go cover this guy. Or Avery. They have guys to throw at hot guys. And I think that helps during the season.
So they were middle of the pack defensively, 12th out of 30 defensive rating. But what I really, really, really like, and this is the thing that makes me overcome the skepticism that I want to roll out some skepticism to throw some water on your Homer fire.
Very fair.
I can't do it. The Amir Johnson rim protector role was the crucial hole defensively, I felt like, for this team.
Yeah,
and I think
he's
going to make a difference.
An adult to guard the low post. Last year you had Sullinger,
Right.
you had Olynyk, you had Zeller. These aren't guys that are going to shut down Tim Duncan. Amir Johnson's at least going to make Tim Duncan think about what he's doing in the low post, and whatever else low post. I'm going to throw another name at you. I'm not prone to hyperbole with rookies. Okay, so I want you to take a seat and really take a deep breath here.
All right.
And I didn't like their draft. I will admit I did not like the draft. I really wanted Justice Winslow. I was devastated. I was mad at MJ for being an idiot as usual and not just trading the number 9 pick for 4 first-rounders. And this guy, RJ Hunter, that they picked at 28, shooting guard, and everyone's like, oh, he's a three-point shooter. This guy's good. I'm telling you, this guy's a real NBA player. He's like a half step ahead of the action, really smart. Just knows what to do and where to go, and I think he's going to play. I think he's a real 2 guard. I like him.
Who is he going to get minutes ahead of? This is the problem.
I actually think he's going to take minutes from Avery Bradley and Evan Turner.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think he's a real 2 guard. They don't have a 2 guard with size, and you watch one Celtic game. This is my lock. Even over, I have the Celtics as a lock over 43.5. This is an even bigger lock. You texting me within the first 20 games to tell me that you like RJ Hunter. Now, I should mention I called him CJ Hunter in a text to my dad a week ago. So this is how new this is for me.
I've heard enough. I think he's going to have a hard time cracking the rotation. It's already like a 12-man rotation.
You watch.
Are we doing individual locks? Go ahead.
Yeah, that's my individual lock, right? My first one, 43.5 over Celtics. Done. I'm in. Terry Rozier was in the Louisville sex scandal. We just have to mention that.
He was in it. What does that mean exactly?
I don't know. I think it's good karma I think it's good karma for the Celtics. We haven't had a scandal in a while.
Yeah, good karma because of the
I don't know.
The Patino angle?
I don't know.
It's sweet justice for Patino?
Here's my quick take on Patino. If he didn't know, he should get fired. And if he did know, he should resign. Either way, he should be out. How do you have a hooker? How are you presiding over a program that has a hooker scandal? Either way, you should go.
Can't survive that one. Seems like a tough one to get over.
If there was a Grantland hooker scandal when I was running Grantland, and my man Danny Chow was secretly running hookers in and out of the Grantland offices with potential interns, and I didn't know about it, I would resign. That's my fault. I should have known Danny Chow was doing this. The thing is, Danny Chow wouldn't do that because he loves food too much. He would be too obsessed with food over finding the hookers.
True.
All right, let's go to the Knicks.
Let's go to the Knicks.
Porzingis is going to start, apparently. But
I read that news.
Their over is 30?
Their over is 30.
Their coach is Derek
their over is
Fisher.
31.
Well, yeah, they have to go 31 and 51 to beat the over. Here's everyone they added. Chris Porzingis, Aaron Aflalo, who sucked last year, Robin Lopez, who got destroyed in the playoffs, Kyle O'Quinn, who I really like, Kevin Serafin, who you watched in Washington for a while and did not like.
And I really like.
Derek Williams, who is in the last stage of when a high lottery pick kind of loses it in the NBA. He now has this frosted cornrow hairdo that is anytime the hairdo gets super wonky, you know the guy's on his way to China. And Sasha the Machine Vujicic. Also, first round pick Jerry and Grant, the Knicks like. Everybody they lost did not matter because none of them were good. So last year they were the worst team in the league offensively. This year they have Carmelo coming back. They have their crunch time five is Calderon, Aflalo, Robin Lopez, Carmelo, and Porzingis, with Langston Galloway, Derek Williams, Kyle O'Quinn, and a bunch of dudes. You're breathing into the phone like we're having phone sex. Watch
because
I'm
holding the phone with my arm while I get my research. I have hot points to make here.
You don't have to heavy breathe in the thing. You're not going to believe this. I'm going over 30.
Whoa!
Yeah, and here's why.
Wow.
Carmelo Anthony is still one of the best 10 players in basketball, and he's motivated, and he's going to be awesome for at least the first 2 months because either he's going to try to get them into the playoffs or he's going to be showcasing himself for a trade. And I just think either way, they're going to be a little better than people think for a couple months. And then there'll be some fork in the road moment. But the East sucks. Like, why? They can't go 32-50. They don't even have their first round pick. What incentive do they have to suck? They have no pick.
They have no incentive to suck, but they do suck, and they will suck. They're going to start this rookie who looks like he's 7'4" and weighs 193 pounds.
Hey, settle down. I like Porzingis.
He looks like he has actual basketball talent. I have no qualms with his. He looks like he understands the game, at least in summer league.
You
he
just
got
ripped
pushed
on
around
him.
by
Now
everybody.
you're defending him.
No. What I'm doing is recognizing the positive, but who is he going to stop? The only blocks he's going to get is when he puts his arms straight up and somebody throws the ball into his hands. Now his wingspan is 11 feet 14 inches. I mean, it's astounding. So he will get blocks, but
the Knicks fans are going to be mad.
Guard anybody straight up, and they were already the 28th worst team in the league.
Can I interject?
Please.
I think he's a slightly better defender than you're giving him credit for. I saw him in summer league when I was unemployed. I watched him defend Okafor on the Sixers, and he's actually like stronger than I thought. It wasn't like a Sean Bradley, Tishkavili situation where he was just getting bulldozed in the low post. Like he actually.
Well, we must have watched different games because I watched Jahlil Okafor push him all over the court.
I might not have seen that
I'll
game.
also remind you that the rules in summer league indulge 10 fouls.
But these are all fair points. I don't know. I liked him. He reminded me of like if young Rick Smits could shoot threes. That's how I felt about Porzingis. Like he had kind of the Smits pre-broken foot body. And he moved really much better than I expected, but his 3-point stroke is really good. Like he's interesting. I got excited when he was on the floor. I enjoyed watching him. With that said, Hazonia is going to haunt the Knicks fans to the point that it's going to reach Stevie Nicks, Lindsey Buckingham levels. I just feel like
you love him.
I love Hazonia. I love Hazonia. God, the Knicks fans are going to be bummed out when they watch Hazonia. That guy's going to light up the internet, man.
He's going to do a lot of some of the dunks on the YouTubes already are ferocious.
I'm pretty sure I rather would have Hazonia and some random free agent who could rebound than Porzingis and all that money they spent on Aaron Aflalo. Just me.
Well,
that's just me.
I did my best with all the skepticism. I think they're going to win 31 or 32 games also, so I'm taking the over.
Oh, why were you surprised that I did the over?
I thought that you would be perpetrating a narrative where Melo on the trade block is going to be gone before they can get to enough wins to actually matter. I actually think he's going to get traded this year.
I do too. But he'll get traded for a bunch of guys that'll make them better.
Well, that's the interesting thing. The team that I think he's going to, by hook or by crook, I haven't yet sat down with a trade machine to make this work. I think he's going to the Miami Heat.
Oh.
It's what I think.
Oh.
And there are title odds for the Miami Heat on this little basis that make me hungry. And you know how I get when I'm hungry.
So you're saying I don't need the trade machine because I'm a savant. You're saying like Luol Deng. I've never been able to say it right. Everyone makes fun of me for it. I don't care. Make fun of me all you want. Luol Deng, Josh McRoberts' contract, Justice Winslow.
Yes, exactly. This is the deal.
But that's it. They don't have any first-round picks. That's really all they could offer.
Well, Winslow is the first-round pick because the Knicks
he was worth 6 first-round picks to the Celtics or whatever they offered.
Exactly. And he is right now, as we sit here, better than the guy that the Knicks took.
Yeah. God, they're going to regret that one too. I feel bad for the Knicks fans. I still like Porzingis, but it's going to be clear within about 30 games that they, yet again,
I'm going to be sending you clips. I can't wait of him getting pushed around.
I think Carmelo goes to Chicago, but what do I know?
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Chicago has like the right pieces for a 3-1 or a 4-1. Hey, Tate, do you like Porzingis?
Yeah.
Tate nodded like excitingly, like I just asked him if he wanted a lap dance. Yeah.
What's Tate seen of Porzingis?
I don't know. Tate's from Carolina, man.
That's fine. I'll be on my own skeptical corner. That's
Tobacco
fine.
State. He grew up watching Carolina and Duke and Len Bias.
Tate's got creds for sure.
Tate sucked up to you vicariously because he knew I'd tell you about how much he loved Len Bias in the mid-'80s, the clips and stuff. He knew I would tell you immediately. Yeah, now
We're
guys
boys
are
for
buddies.
life.
All right, Brooklyn. Over 28. This is a tough one because this is probably the worst team in the league, but yet they don't have their first-round pick this year. Trade swap with the Celtics next year, where they get the worst of that pick, and then the Celtics have their 2018 pick. They have no incentive to tank at all, and yet they might not have a choice because their team is so atrocious.
First of all, Philadelphia is furious at you right now.
Yeah, you're right.
Calling Brooklyn the worst team in the league. Come on.
All right, well, here's the let me throw this team at you. Jared Jack. Jared Jack's going to be the playmaker / creator. I'm enjoying that already.
That's an issue.
Bogdanovich, who I kind of like. I'm not going to down him.
Kind of like him.
Brook Lopez looked good last 20 games. Gets hurt pretty much every year. It's basically like the Eagles saying that they think this is the year for Sam Bradford. That's what this is the year for Brook Lopez makes me feel like. Joe Johnson, contract year, going backwards. Everyone who's ever watched Joe Johnson lost the will to watch Joe Johnson years and years ago. Thad Young, they gave 4 years, $50 million to, which I thought was an interesting move.
Fair deal.
Okay. Sounds good.
I don't have any problem with that.
And then their bench is basically Bargnani, Rondé Hollis Jefferson, who they drafted. They got in a draft day trade, and Shane Larkin. First of all, a hearty congratulations to Billy King for assembling that murderous roster. I have under 28, and I'm making it a lock because that team is awful.
They are awful. They are. A fun fact that I came to observe while I was doing a little research on the Nets. Are you aware that your boy Prokhorov has paid $130 million in luxury tax since he arrived? So essentially, he paid all the other owners whatever he paid for the Nets franchise.
Yeah.
And then he's like, "Hey guys, how about another $130 million on top of that?" He's amazing. I mean, talk about splash the pot. I love him.
Yeah, he splashed the pot and then some.
Lord have mercy. The advanced metrics are very, very unkind to Jarrett Jack. There are some that suggest he's the worst point guard in the league.
He's
the worst starting point guard in the league.
I'm getting my boy Haralabas Vulgaris on next week, and I'm just going to specifically point him toward Jarrett Jack and let him rant for 40. I think it's his least favorite player in the league. He does everything that you don't want if you're looking at basketball from a new wave standpoint. Let me ask you this. What would it take for you to watch a random Brooklyn Nets game that didn't involve your team or like Kevin Durant trying to score 70 points or some sort of out of the box and like Klay Thompson's going for 12 threes? What would it take for you to just be like flicking channels? Oh, here are the Nets. I'm just going to sit down with the Nets for an hour.
There's only one thing, and that is Andrea Bargnani on the court.
Oh,
if he's on the court, then I'll watch for sort of car wreck purposes.
God, this team.
Bargs is the only reason that I stop at all. I'm not interested in anybody else. I feel bad for Thad Young because I like his game, and I think that
tradable.
He's still playing hard, and I think that he earned that contract.
Maybe that's somebody.
That's the only one.
Yeah, that's somebody you might be able to trade. for a pick at some point if somebody needs something. He's roughly at the level of Jeff Green last year, who the Celtics were able to get a first-round pick for. But
so you're taking the under. That's 27 wins. That's.
I just think they're terrible. Like, how does that team win
really
30 games? What am I missing?
I'm going to take the over, and the reason is because they only have to win 29, and Philadelphia and Orlando both play in the East still. So.
Good. You enjoy that over. You're the same man who took Joe Philbin in London, so I feel even better. Can I just tell you, I really want you to think about this all weekend. I'm so excited that the Celtics have their next 3 years of picks. I think like if I did a fantasy draft of all the things in my life that I'm the most excited about, I think that might be number one. Even more than the fact that my son is good at hockey all of a sudden.
Yeah, your daughter's travel soccer team is terrific too.
My daughter almost had a quadruple double in the basketball game on Monday. I'm more excited about the 3 first-round picks than anything else going on in my life. This is unbelievable. It's an unprecedented windfall of good fortune. We have 3 first-round picks in a row from the team you would want 3 first-round picks from if you just did a draft of 30 teams. This is the team you would pick. It's amazing.
I'm fine with. I still think they're going to get 29 wins.
Although I got to say, my son being good at hockey might actually make me happier.
I saw the clip. He looked awesome.
My son is a masshole who somehow grew up in LA, but really would have been better suited for Massachusetts. He loves hockey and he loves swearing, and loves not having a lot of clothes on. And it just would have been perfect. I feel bad that I have him growing up here. All right, so I have under 28. You have over 28. You're going to lose that one. I'm telling you right now. Sixers. Let's go quickly with the Sixers. I'm so tired of talking about them. Their over is 21.5. They traded Michael Carter-Williams for this pick that they might not ever get in the way they wanted to get it, right?
It was the Lakers pick, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't that the...
Did they get it? They never, or this would be the year they got it. They didn't get it last year because the Lakers got into the lottery.
It was protected, exactly.
Yeah, so now and then there's all these weird protections on it. Okafor I like.
Me too.
I think he's a 2010 possibility on a team that wins 15 games. I thought they stole Stauskas from the Kings. I like that trade too. But you know what's a problem? They spent the 3rd pick on the back on Joel Embiid, and we haven't seen him yet.
And we're not going to see him this year.
We're not going to see him this year. And there are just a variety of reports that make me nervous about him, including stuff like, yeah, the Sixers think maybe he didn't wear his walking boot enough.
I read that same story.
Yeah, his weight is up. Yeah, they think he's partying too much. Like, it's none of it's good. It makes me sad because I watched him in a gym like 6 weeks before that draft, right before he got hurt. He hurt his back, and or his foot or whatever he hurt, and the guy was a beast. And I would have bet my life that he was going to become like a 9-time All-Star. It's too bad.
Yeah. We're both taking the under.
Yeah, Nerlens and Okafor is interesting.
That's honestly the reason that I would stop and watch. I would watch them more than I would watch the Nets.
Here's why I'm taking the under, because at some point as I was doing the research, I muttered to myself, well, a lot here depends on if Isaiah Cannon and Kendall Marshall can create some offense for these guys. And then I was like, oh, I'm going to go under.
Well, the under is still 3 games better than last year. We win the under if they win 21 games. I'm fine with that.
Does Hinkie, if they go like 18-64 again? I mean, how long can the Sixer fans be okay with this?
They still only have 2 professional basketball players, 2 NBA level talent guys.
Saric is another year away now.
He's going to take his time. He
I'm
can't
sorry.
really come up. I guess Covington is now NBA grade as a role player also.
Sure.
But
great. All right, Central Division.
This isn't a lock, but they're an under.
Central Division. The Cavs are 57.5. Tough number. They added Mo Williams, basically. I'm not counting Richard Jefferson. Mo Williams
Doesn't count.
Mo Williams will probably win them a couple games in the first 2 months when some of these guys are injured. They have Shumpert's out for 3 months. J.R. Smith is starting. Mozgov's back. Tristan Thompson just came back. His agent saved some face after repeatedly rejecting a 5-year, $80 million offer that was already obscene. Somehow got them to go up by $2 million. Congratulations on that. Your guy missed the entire training camp, so you get another $2 million. Verjav's back, which could probably be for about 10 games, but still.
For at least 15 games, absolutely.
Deladova is back.
Congratulations.
Kevin Love is back. So here's my quick Kevin Love speech. It scares me a little bit when guys in the NBA have bad shoulder injuries. Just having played basketball for my whole life and just how many times like your arm gets yanked, your shoulder gets yanked, or whatever, it's just, I'm not saying he can come, I'm not saying he's not coming back. It just worries me. Like Perkins started hurting his shoulders when he was in the Celtics and it ruined his career, you know? And I feel the same way about Durant with the broken feet. Like we just pencil these guys back in like they're going to be exactly the same as they were. And those are significant injuries, you know, like you break your foot, you have 3 foot surgeries. That's a real injury, you know. I kind of want to see it for 25 games. I kind of want to see Kevin Love playing with his surgically repaired shoulder, you know. Am I too crazy?
Feet and shoulder are two different things. I would not lump foot injuries in with shoulder injuries, and especially for the kind of player that Love is. It really was a freak accident that he was close enough to the basket to get tangled up going for a rebound,
right?
Notwithstanding his prolific rebounding numbers. I think he's going to be fine. I like he's 27, so you know I haven't done any research into any of the reports describing his road back and how his shoulder's been performing and all that kind of thing. But I'm not concerned about Love's shoulder injury.
I'm a tiny bit concerned. 100%. I'm always concerned.
Okay.
I went under because of the injuries, because LeBron is now in year 13.
Yeah.
04, 05, 06. Yeah, year 13. Here's the thing. What is it going to take to get the 1 seed in the East? Like 52 wins?
How about this? They don't need the 1 seed.
Well,
it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. But like, why would they have to put the foot in the pedal? And they could get the 1 seed and go 52 and 30. I don't see any reason for them to go balls out and try to win 60 games.
The only question for us is whether or not to make this an under lock.
I'm not betting against LeBron.
You're not going to do that.
No, I don't feel good about
that. They just you just described it. They have no reason. The only thing for them, the only goal, though, the regular season serves one purpose for them, and that is to be healthy entering the playoffs. It's for them to get a few reps. They have 82 opportunities to get a few reps with a few different lineups. Honest to God, if LeBron plays, they need to be perpetrating a full-on Spurs-style rest schedule for LeBron. I hope he only plays 65 games this year because I want him to be in perfect health entering the playoffs. And so I think they can win 55 games just messing around with the talent they have and the nucleus that's coming back. But the only reason for them to do anything is a slight kind of playoff positioning, and I guess the only team in the East, other than the Miami Heat with Carmelo Anthony, for them to avoid would be the Chicago Bulls. But even then, I think we're kind of past the point where the Bulls represent such a formidable threat. So I like them in the under category. You gave a lock to the Celtics. Over. I'm giving a lock to the Cavs under. I just talked myself into it.
I might join you, but I'm going to think about it some more. But here's an interesting stat for you, Joe House. The Miami went 54-28 in LeBron's last season, right?
Yeah.
Cleveland went 53-29 last year.
They did.
LeBron missed 13 games. So those are 2 straight years where he was in the low to mid 50s with LeBron playing like LeBron. I don't know. I think there's he gets the regular season now. He's just trying to get through the regular season. He understands that the 2 playoff months are what matter and are going to take a huge physical toll on him and the whole thing. And he has a ton of cruise control games, especially the first couple months.
Lock. Come on.
When does Kyrie come back? When does Kyrie come back, Tate? Tate was just picking his nose.
Could be weeks.
TBD. Could be weeks. All right, I'll join you. I'm in.
Yeah.
All right.
Lock.
Bulls.
That's not a knock on the Cavs, by the way.
Yeah.
Cavs still
We're gonna
I
go
believe
through.
in them.
We're gonna have the same conversation when we get to the Spurs. Regular season and
sure
playoffs are two different events, and teams approach them differently. I still think if the Cavs didn't make the finals, I would be stunned.
Stunned.
Again, 52-30 probably wins the East. So just remember that. Bulls over 50. New coach Fred Hoiberg. They added Bobby Portis, who actually I liked in the preseason. He seemed like a good rebounder.
I'm going to look at some odds for him as Rookie of the Year. Don't think that
good.
I'm not.
He's got that Marquise Daniels kind of the eyes that you just don't know what he's up to at all times. Remember Marquise Daniels? Mysterious.
Yeah, shady eyes.
It's got an edge to him. It's got an edge to him.
Yeah.
I like it. They lost Thibodeau. They lost Nazi Muhammad. Bye, Nazi. Just take care.
Doesn't feel like a loss.
Derrick Rose didn't really have a great offseason. He fractured his orbital bone.
Stories.
Yeah, he fractured his orbital bone. He said some really crazy, stupid stuff about his next contract that seemed kind of threatening and not appreciative of the fact that he'd been paid a ton of money to not really do that much the last couple of years. Was involved in an off-season sexual assault.
Yeah, unfortunate
story that's ongoing and did not, whatever the facts are, did not serve him well. I don't think. Jimmy Butler and him had a little tension. Then they didn't. Then they kind of did, and it's.
I think that's all overblown.
All right. Well, we are at a point like whose team is it though? That's not overblown. That's an NBA storyline that's been there for 100 years. So, Noah, free agent after this year, might be breaking down physically.
Coming off the bench, not starting.
Powell's back. Doug McDermott, Mirotic, Taj Gibson, who's probably going to be more unhappy than he was last year. Mike Dunleavy, back surgery, is out for a couple months. I just don't like the team, and I think Thibodeau got them to overachieve year after year after year. The over-under is 50. Feels like a 46-36 to me. What do you think?
I like them closer to 50. I like them either right on 50 or at 49, but I'm not going to talk myself into 51. Or 52. They're in a fragile place right now.
Yeah. And
we don't have any sense whatsoever of what the difference between Tibbs and Hoiberg is going to look like. But on the run up to this season, it just feels like it's a transition kind of deal for them. And really, the whole offense comes down to Aaron Brooks. Ultimately, that's because
you're just saying Rose is going to get hurt.
Yeah, I am saying that.
Wow.
It is now beyond a question. He can't play the sustained minutes. We know that he can't play at star level, let alone superstar level. He will win them a couple games. They
have redundancies at positions that I don't like. Like, I'm not sure Gasol and Noah should play together. I'm not sure Mirotic and McDermott should play together. Well,
you're asking Fred Hoiberg in his first stint as an NBA head coach to figure that out.
Yeah. I mean, congratulations for figuring out Royce White for a year, but this is much harder. And I don't know. I don't feel good about this Bulls team. I don't feel good about anything that I'm looking at. Now, the catch could be Butler could just go up another level and become one of the best 15 players in the league, or they trade for Carmelo in mid-December.
Butler did it for 30 games. We have to see Butler do it for 60 games, 65 games.
I'm going
he
under.
Just couldn't do it. Yeah, I'm going under also. Not a lock, but under.
The Milwaukee Bucks have gotten a lot of bandwagon buzz. Their over-under is ridiculous. It's 44.5.
Well, it's only ridiculous in the sense that we're immediately putting them in the same kind of conversation as Toronto and Washington. They did win 41 games last year, so you're only asking them to win 4 more games this year than last year to get the over.
Too much buzz. It always makes me nervous when teams that haven't done anything yet are getting blown. We just saw this. We saw this with the Colts. The Colts were a Super Bowl contender. They hadn't done anything. The Dolphins were going to win the AFC. They hadn't done anything. I hate handing things to teams that haven't proven or earned anything yet. This is a 500 team. Why? To me, the over-under should be 41. And if they go over that, congratulations. But
That's very disrespectful to Greg Monroe. You don't think Greg Monroe is going to make any kind of a difference for this team? When we get Jabari Parker, it's like they have two guys.
I don't know. He stinks defensively.
Two signings.
Doesn't it matter that Greg Monroe stinks defensively? Like, doesn't it matter that they have no rim protection at all? Doesn't it matter that they don't have outside shooting? I'm just being devil's advocate because I want the Bucks to be good. I like the Bucks. I'm excited for Giannis.
They were incredible defensively last year.
They were on the perimeter. They were
league.
good defensively. But, they're long. I get the case. They're long. The shooting worries me. I worry about Jabari coming right off an ACL. Everybody's just penciling back in Jabari. Oh, Jabari's back. That's a 2-year injury. It's always been a 2-year injury.
They can ease him in. They have a little bit of depth.
I do like John Henson. And I think what's going to be interesting to me, because they spent all this money on Monroe. And FYI, let's have a podcast about some of our favorite Greg Monroe playoff games. And it's over. Thanks for coming to the Greg Monroe Top 20 playoff game classic. So, I don't know. I worry about the expectations. I worry about the shooting. I worry about what happens if they're better off with Henson playing and Monroe sitting and he's unhappy.
Well, you and I
want to see
going
it. Prove it to me. We're
going to be on the other side of this. I'm taking the over. Last year, I took a hate under because they were my team 2 years ago, and I was ready for them to go do all kinds of great things 2 years ago, and they stunk. And then I just out of spite went against them last year, and now I've come back around. I'm on them. I like them at 45 games, and I'm taking the over.
I think you jumped the gun on me.
What?
I'm taking the over.
Oh!
I just went all devil's advocate. My point is I think the over-under is too high, but I think they're a 45-win team.
Great. Not a lock?
I think in the West, they're a 35-win team.
I like them around 500 in the West.
35 wins. No, definitely not a lock, but 45 and 37 feels right. Just because they have depth. It comes down to this. Are they 4 wins better than they were last year? Yeah, I think so.
We both agree on that point. Plus, they pick up some of those wins that we think some of these mediocre,
right?
Cleveland's not some of those kinds of wins. Cleveland, Chicago wins that are out there.
I would not make it a lock. I think it's too high. I have concerns about this team, and it makes me nervous that everybody is blowing them. But 45 wins seems. I just have them down 45 and 37, so it's too close to the over under. But whatever. Indiana, the over is 42. This team transformed itself, I think, as much as anybody did this year. They basically decided to throw away big ball and they went back to small ball, or not back to small ball, but they want to play Paul George at the 4. They brought Monte Ellis in. Their centers now are going to be Jordan Hill and Miles Turner, basically. They lost David West. They lost Hibbert. They lost Scola. Those were, this era of the Eastern Conference when they were trying to beat Miami by just being bigger and tougher than them. And they almost did. And they had a nice little 3-year run there until George broke his leg. So, and Jan Mahimni is also going to be involved at center. They're relying on a variety of things that make me nervous. But Frank Vogel's a good coach. Paul George is going to be good again. They won 38 games last year. Is Paul George and a small ball style and getting rid of Roy Hibbert worth 5 wins? Yeah, probably. The East is worse.
It is to me. This is a house over. This is out of respect, primarily for Vogel, but also I can put myself back in that place where Paul George was ruling the world. Yeah. I mean, it wasn't that long ago. It was it 18 months ago or less than that.
Yeah.
He was so good. He was right there in top 3 or 4 player in the league, that category. And I'm hopeful. I'm optimistic that he resumes that form.
Yeah.
And so I like a slight over for the Pacers here.
Okay. I like a slight over too. We're on a bad pace, so let's go to the Pistons. 34.5 over. They basically turned Greg Monroe into Irian Ilyasova, and they're going to be a little smaller. They unclogged the lane. Marcus Morris is involved now. Stanley Johnson, people like a lot as a rookie. Steve Van Gundy turned down 4 first-round picks from Boston for him. Just thought I'd mention that. Andre Drummond, a free agent a year from now. He'll test it. I think he's restricted. He's the guy now. The over-under is 34.5. Brandon Jennings, not positive when he's going to come back from the Achilles, but it should be, when he's going to look like Brandon Jennings again, but he's kind of an X factor. Feels like a mid-30s kind of team. The over was 34.5. A slight shade of the over. What do you think?
Exact same point of view. I think this is the first kind of iteration of a team that fits the SVGI. This is a Stan Van Gundy. The Reggie Jackson, Andre Drummond pick and roll is kind of the poor man, Jameer Nelson, Dwight Howard from the SVG days.
So you're saying this is an 09 Magic type of template?
That's it. That's it. Ilyasova on the perimeter, the way Turkoglu was.
With the PEDs
I like
or
them.
No PEDs?
Well, who knows? The name, it's always a possibility.
Wasn't his fault. He didn't realize what he was taking.
He was just in the room at the wrong time.
Yeah. I didn't.
So are we both doing slide over?
I have a slide over 34.5.
Yeah, we're both taking the slide over on that one.
All right. Let's before we get to the Southeast Division, a new sponsor. House.
Oh.
If you need legal help, you shouldn't have to choose some random lawyer who charges expensive hourly rates. But what other choice do you have when you need help with your business or you want to protect your family? House, I have an idea. Start with LegalZoom. For more than a decade, they've provided a way for regular people like you and me to confidently navigate the legal system. It's not a law firm, and that's why LegalZoom provides such great value. They don't rely on charging you by the hour. You get transparent pricing and customer reviews so you know exactly what you're getting up front. If you need help with incorporation, LLCs, trademarks, last wills, living trusts, whatever, use LegalZoom. If you need legal advice, their network of independent attorneys can provide the straightforward guidance you need in most states. Don't let legal hurdles become an excuse. Go to LegalZoom.com today. Start building your future the right way. And guess what? To save even more, enter BS in the referral box at checkout. So that's LegalZoom.com, promo code BS, and they can help you with a lot of stuff. Welcome aboard, LegalZoom. All right, let's get to the last conference, the Southeast. This is, first of all, your team's in this conference.
Yeah,
Second of
I
all,
have some things to say.
Yeah, this is a wild card conference. It's just like throwing a chainsaw in a hot tub. Atlanta.
There are three very good teams in it.
Yeah, Atlanta's 49.5 over. They lost to Mark Carroll. They have Seth Falocia back from a broken leg suing the NYPD as he should. They added Tiago Splitter, which I really liked. That dude's been there. That's a guy that gives them a little extra wrinkle. That can play him and Horford together. Maybe it gives them a backup. I just like that.
It was a gaping hole in the playoffs. They filled a gaping hole, a gaping deficiency that they found themselves with come playoff time.
I like it. And with all of that said, I'm going under 49.5.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. It's so disrespectful to Buds.
Yeah, it is.
I really love the over here. Why are they 11 games worse than last year?
I don't know.
So you have them at what, 49 and
48 and 34.
48 and 34.
Yeah,
I just feel like the core identity that got them to 60 wins. They don't have. They're a team that needs to play hard during the regular season and will play hard during the regular season because of the style that makes them successful. All that ball movement stuff, you can't just, they don't have individual players that need to take games off or need to take minutes, have reduced minutes. I mean, it's important for Horford to stay healthy all season long, but I think they're going to come out and play their system, and nobody could stop it until playoff time. And if that's their system, that's a system that looks successful enough to me to be 54, 55 wins.
I worry about perimeter D. I think Carroll was really, 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 really important for them.
So
I worry about Teague versus Schrader, Dennis Schrader, who I think is ready to get more minutes, and how do you accommodate that? Teague's coming off a great year. Corver's older than you think he is, and I thought really started to
What does
wear
that
down
mean?
in the
How old is he?
playoffs. Huh?
How old is he?
I think he's like, Tate, find this out. What is he, like 34, 35?
That's what I would have guessed.
Millsap, he's 34. That's old.
Okay.
That's old for a white shooting guard who relies on, that 1/4 of a step to get open and to get looks and all that stuff. Millsap got paid. I worry about that too. I don't like when guys get paid. It just,
I mean, that's not enough for me.
I thought
like
I don't feel like they
Cephalosha
were,
and Bazemore filling that Carroll spot. And I believe in the system. I believe in buds. That's all.
it's fine. There's certain, it's not making it a lock. I just feel like I think they were a 53-win team last year that just won 60 because of their conference and because they were playing well and because they had a style that people just hadn't totally figured out yet. And then what happened in the playoffs, I think teams are going to look at that. There's some tricks that the Cavs did, and I forget what the Bucks did. Somebody played them the series before, and it
was Washington.
Washington
Who should have beaten them.
Washington should have beaten them. I don't know.
Ball got hurt.
I don't. They had a lot of things go right for them last year until the cops decided to break Cephalosha's leg. But I don't know.
Well, that was
it just
before the playoffs.
Doesn't feel like, is this team really going to win 115 wins in 2 years? Like, I just don't see it. So I'm going under. I respectfully disagree.
I just have them at 50. 50 to 51 wins me the hard-earned green cash.
Okay, good. Make it a lock. Double down on it.
No. Absolutely not.
Miami Heat.
I haven't.
Here's another thing. Miami's better this year. This is 45.5. Last year they won 37. They have a full year of Dragic. Dwayne Wade signed a 1 year, $20 million deal. Whiteside's back. He missed the whole second half of the season, or most of it. Chris Bosh is back. He missed the whole second half of the season. Dang's back. They added Justice Winslow, who, God damn, he's in a perfect situation. You couldn't pick a better team. Oh, great. I go to Miami. I get to learn from a bunch of veterans. I don't have a ton of pressure. I can come off the bench and go against the other team's second team. I can grow at my own pace. I can be a defensive stopper. There's no better team he could have gone to. They added Gerald Green, who, as long as Zach Lowe pointed this out, as long as they don't play him and Stoudemire for big stretches at the same time, could actually help as an irrational confidence guy. And McRoberts is back. And McRoberts was good 2 years ago in Charlotte and could do stuff. And he's a good passer and he knows where to go and what to do. And I like the team. 45.5 is the under. And even though Zach made 1 point in his piece about Dragic's style versus the way some of these other guys play in Miami, and how, it got me thinking, is this a team that's a better fantasy team than a real team?
I don't think that.
I don't think that
I love
either.
Miami this year. I absolutely adore them. I think Dragic and Bosh are going to make sweet pick and pop music love together.
Yeah, well, here's the other thing.
Love, yeah.
When Wade disappears, he's going to. He's going to miss 10 games, or he won't be able to play back-to-back, whatever. They're actually stocked this year. All right, hey, Gerald Green, go shoot. Hey, Winslow, you're going to play 35 minutes tonight. Like, they have options if Wade's not there. They don't have to lean on him like they did last year. And Bosh is one of the best 20 players in the league, and he missed last year. There's no way they're not 8 wins better. Something really weird would have to happen, I think.
I like them so much. They're absolutely positively a lock to me. And you already heard my case for them going out and getting Melo into this mix.
I'm making them a lock as well.
Nice.
I think they go 46 and 36 minimum. Yeah. The Wizards, 45.5. Inexplicable. Last year they were 46 and 36. They lost Pierce. They gained Jared Dudley. It doesn't come back for a couple weeks. They added Gary Neal, but more importantly, Otto Porter might actually be good and might have actually learned some stuff from Paul Pierce and might actually be an X factor for this team. Not to mention all the Bradley Beal playoff progress, which made everyone so happy. John Wall is somewhere between a star and a superstar, and the conference got a little bit worse. To me, this is the team out of all the teams in the 40s that could make a little bit of a leap into the 50s, possibly. I like the over. 45 and a half. I'm making it a lock, Joe House.
Wow. Oh, well, I love this Wizards team this year as well. I'm going to just call them the Wizards. I'm fine with it this year. I really hate seeing PP go. The leadership that he brought, and I've said it many, many times over, was just incalculable. You told me, and then he delivered. And the playoff run that he really delivered for them was incomparable. I like to think that they're going to build on all of the progress that they made with Pierce at kind of the helm of that playoff ship, and the confidence that Wall and Beal acquired. But you mentioned it, most importantly, Otto Porter. Paul Pierce may have saved his career.
Yeah.
It's still the case that that Beal and Wall are super young. Brad Beal is 22 years old right now.
It's amazing.
Need him to play close to 70 games for them to make this work. Nene's in a contract year. We've seen Nene in a contract year before. Now we're on the downside of Nene's career, let there be no doubt. But when Nene's motivated and they have enough depth now to hopefully put him in the right spots, Tom Haberstroh called Randy Whitman enigmatic. And I have to agree, enigmatic Randy Whitman. If the minutes are right for these guys, we have the rotations pretty well set.
Yeah.
Alan Anderson is here also. There's a lot of good role guys. Gary Neal, Dudley, Anderson. Those are professionals, and they're all complimentary.
Gary Neal, like that. Those are guys that have actually done stuff in important NBA games and had a moment or two.
The Washington's already a top 5 defensive team in the league, and the real improvement, the big earth-shattering, groundbreaking improvement is they all are saying they're going to take less mid-range twos. The worst shot in basketball, they're going to take less of them this year. I'm right along with you. Let's lock down the Washington Wizards.
So they won 46, Miami won 37, and Atlanta won 60. That's 142 wins between those three, I think. I hope I added that right. So if you recalibrate just those three teams, and Miami's up now to 48, they've gained 9 wins. Washington goes from 46 to like 51 range. That's another 5. Mm-hmm. Right there, Atlanta loses 7-8 wins.
I know. And they still hit the over.
Yeah, somebody's going to email me and say...
the over.
No, but somebody's going to email and say, oh, your math, that's stupid. You're the cause and effect, whatever. I'm just saying, like, the calibration of when I try to figure out the records, I just moved some of Atlanta's wins to Washington and Miami. And then I moved a couple more of Atlanta's wins to Boston. And, that's how...
Did you give any of Atlanta's wins to the Knicks?
No, maybe one.
Okay.
I don't know. It's like putting together a jigsaw puzzle. There's only so many wins in the Eastern Conference. Atlanta took a lot of them last year for a lot of reasons that had nothing to do with how good they were. And I'm just recalibrating.
60 wins is hard to diminish.
Listen, you're never talking me out of my Atlanta under after what happened with the Jets-Dolphins game. The Orlando Magic.
Sure.
Their over is 33. Last year, 25 and 57. They've added the Rookie of the Year, Mario Hezonja. They lost Mo Harkless to Portland. I like Mo Harkless, but more importantly, they lost Jacques Vaughn, who I thought was the worst coach in the league. They replaced him with Michael Chiklis, and I think it's worth you. They got Alfred Payton second year. Oladipo third year, Vucevic, Tobias Harris got paid. Aaron Gordon in his second year is like an off the bench guy. C.J. Watson, Channing Frye, Evan Fournier. They have Shabazz Napier on this team, and then Hezonja. I don't know. It just feels like kind of what the Bucks were last year, right? This up and coming team that we're like, oh my God, is Orlando? They might make the playoffs. Holy mackerel! And I could see them winning like 38, 39. I'm going over.
This one is giving me a lot of trouble. All I can think about when I think about Orlando is how poorly they shoot from outside. They're middle of the pack from 3-point percentage and middle of the pack field goal percentage, 14 out of 30. And the 14 out of 30 on field goal percentage is all Vucevic, who was one of 4 players to average nearly a 2010 last year. The backcourt, Peyton and Oladipo have to shoot better. They have to shoot better for this team to win 38 or 39 or 40 games.
Yeah, but why wouldn't you say the same about Milwaukee?
Milwaukee's a slightly more accomplished. O.J. Mayo comes off the bench for them.
Middleton.
I think they have another
Middleton.
Decent three-point shooter on that team.
I like that you just stammered for 10 seconds.
Well, because I don't have their roster in front of me, but I don't think that they have the same kind of offensive, sluggish, kind of problems as Orlando on the perimeter.
Okay. Well, I disagree. You know what? I might change my mind with Milwaukee. I feel like we should just we needed more conflict in this podcast and a couple more teams that we disagreed on. I like that we disagree on Atlanta. I think I'm going to go under with Milwaukee. I think I'm going to say they're going to go 43 and 39. I'm going to give some of their wins to Orlando. I'm giving them 2. I'm giving Orlando 2 of Milwaukee's wins. Going under for Milwaukee.
You're taking the over on Orlando.
Yeah.
And the under on. Now, the thing that goes against my under is Scott Skiles' effect. I mean, he immediately comes in and helps teams win 10 more games than they did the previous year. He's been doing it over and over and over.
Well, last year, they basically had, the equipment manager as the head coach. It's like Bob, the equipment manager, was coaching the team. This year, they actually have a coach who's going to be like, hey, I have some ideas. Hey, here's some plays. Hey, I have a halftime adjustment for you. I think it's going to matter. Next and last team, one of my locks, the Hornets of Charlotte. So they gave Michael Kidd-Gilchrist $52 million for 4 years, tore his right labrum, probably out for the whole year. They added Nick Batum, which I really liked. They added Spencer Hawes, Frank Kaminsky, and Tyler Hansborough. Hey, white people of Charlotte, come on down. We have white guys. Their starting lineup. Cody Zeller. Just about ready to give up on him. What do you think? Very close.
Yeah.
Very
we're
close.
We're right there on that.
Very close. We're about to pack his suitcase. Batum, who was just an atrocity last year and hopefully would change the scenery up. Al Jefferson lost 20 pounds from not eating chicken anymore. Kemba Walker. And their starting two-guard house, Jeremy Lamb.
That's a problem.
That is a problem.
Never seen anything out of Jeremy Lamb that makes me think he belongs in the NBA.
Their bench is Kaminsky, Marvin Williams, Jeremy Lin, and 17 white guys. Their over-under, inexplicably, for reasons I can't fathom, is 32.5. And I actually thought it was a typo. I thought it was 22.5. And that Tate typed it wrong. And I looked it up. And no, it was 32.5. Lock, under. There's no way this team wins 33 wins. No way. There's a 0% chance. No way. None. Zero.
That's how much. Now, look, MKG missed 30 games last year. Jefferson missed 20 games last year. Cody Zeller missed 20 games last year, and they won 33. So you're saying you don't believe in what Batum, Kaminsky.
I need more white guys. If there are 3 more white guys, that might go over. But right now, they didn't add enough white guys, unfortunately. So I'm going under. Yeah,
I will.
Under. By the way, you talk about outside shooting. You're worried about Orlando's outside shooting. Where do you see this rock show that's going to happen?
They were 30th in the league. They were 30th in the league last year.
They should call their arena the Quarry from all the rocks that are going to be thrown around. Come down to the Quarry and see the Hornets. We got white guys.
All right. I'm on it. 31. It feels disrespectful to Steve Clifford, who just 2 years ago had them be, they were the buzz team. They were the up-and-comers.
Yeah, but he was terrible last year.
They were. Did you hear all those games? 30, 20, 20 out of the 3 of their most important players.
Jeremy Lamb is their starting two guard.
I am taking the under. That is enough.
And now, here are your Charlotte Hornets. At guard, Kemba Walker. At guard, one of the guys who ruined the Harden trade and made it one of the worst trades of all time. It's Jeremy Lamb. Here he is. Wow. Oh, and Al
Tatum,
Jefferson.
Hawes, Kaminsky, and Lynn.
Al Jefferson
I can't put
lost
enough
20
faith in those
pounds.
four.
Al Jefferson stopped eating chicken. Come on down. What a terrible team, and I hate them for not trading us Justice Winslow, which is part of my animosity.
This is a spite pick.
It's
well,
a
you
total
talked me
spite
into
pick.
it. I'm taking the under.
Spiting the hell out of them with my lock.
I'm taking the under with you.
All right, let's recap our Eastern Conference picks. So we have the Toronto Raptors over 46. We both agree on that.
Yeah.
And hopefully Kyle Lowry won't get hurt. We have the Boston Celtics over 43.5. I have that as a lock. Do you have that as a lock?
I feel like I should join you. We should be in lockstep on all locks. So I'll get in on that with you.
All right. The Knicks, I have over 30. You have, what do you have over?
I have the Knicks. We agree on over. Just at 31.
Right.
31 and 51. Let's go Knicks.
Brooklyn Nets under 28. I'm going to throw a lockdown on that. I don't remember if I did or not, but that team stinks.
I'm not joining you on that lock.
Okay. But you have the under. Philly.
Actually, I have the over. I have the over for Brooklyn. I have them at 29
We're
wins.
going to lose that one. I don't think I had Brooklyn as a lock. I have too much at stake with them. I'm going to remove my lock.
Okay.
Philly, I have under 21.5 for Philly, and you have
under as well. Not a lock, but both under.
Cleveland, we both have under 57.5. Out of respect for the King, we decided not to make that a lock.
Oh, I talked you into a lock on that under.
Oh, out of respect for the King, we did make that a lock.
Out of respect for the King, he should play 62 games.
Yeah, out of respect for the King, it's a 2-month season, LeBron. Just try to get through the regular season.
That's it.
Under 50 for the Bulls. We both have that.
We are in agreement.
We're going to disagree on the Bucks. You have over 44.5. I have under 44.5.
It's a fact.
Indianapolis, we have over 42 apiece. Detroit, we have over 34.5 apiece. Atlanta, I have under 49.5, and you have over, and it was a big disagreement that caused some tension in our friendship. Miami Heat,
We'll try and sort it out.
over 45.5 each. Lock.
Lock.
Double lock.
Lock.
The Wizards, over 45.5. Lock. And that's
Lock.
my two favorites are the Celtics and the Wizards.
How about that? Our two favorite teams.
Orlando, over 33. I have over. You have
Under.
Under. Okay, we
I did
disagree on
under.
that. And then Charlotte, I have a lock, 32.5 under. Although
And
I
I'm
do
taking
have
the
the
under
over
as
for
well.
32.5 white guys in the Charlotte roster this season. So I took that, but I took under for wins.
We're both taking the under.
And that's
Not a
it.
lot.
I'm gonna remove my lock from Brooklyn. I have too much at stake.
Yeah, I already erased it.
House, do you realize that the Celtics could have like one of the top 3 picks in the draft from Brooklyn, and also have like a pick between 8, 9, and 10 from Dallas if Dallas falls apart?
All I know is
I have a
if
big
Ben
boner.
Simmons going to Boston becomes a reality, I feel like we should fly out there with we should get somebody who makes ice as a sponsor to come out and ice you down if Ben Simmons going to Boston becomes a thing.
All right, we went long as we thought we would, and that means we're gonna have to tape the Western Conference on Monday or Tuesday.
I am available all day Monday.
Yeah.
There is no time I can't do it. Tuesday, I'm available all the way up until
We'll do it on Monday.
12:30.
We'll tape it on
Okay.
Monday.
Okay.
Joe House, a pleasure, as always. But before we go, don't forget my podcast listeners can use promo code BS for the SeatGeek app and get a $20 rebate off your first SeatGeek purchase. You count as a podcast listener. I swear, you count as a podcast listener. You listen to this right now, so you should do this. Every ticket purchased on SeatGeek is backed by a 100% guarantee. It's the best way to buy tickets. Redeem your promo code. Get 20% back with your first purchase. Download the free SeatGeek app and enter promo code BS. And also, thanks to LegalZoom for joining us here in the Bill Simmons podcast. They provide a way for regular people like you and me not House, because he's not a regular person, but you and me, you and me, the podcast listener, to get legal help and feel confident about navigating the legal system. Don't let legal issues freak you out. Go to LegalZoom.com today. Get the right help. Protect your future the right way. To save even more, enter BS in the referral box at checkout. That's LegalZoom.com. Promo code BS. And don't forget about the fight on HBO, 9:30 p.m. Saturday night. The next Floyd Mayweather. Maybe. Who knows? Check that out. Thanks to everybody. Enjoy the weekend. Thanks to Joe House. Thanks to Tate.